Welcome to Average Joe's Fantasy Sports Podcast.
Welcome to another edition of Average Joe's Fantasy Sports Podcast.
Yeah.
I'm Jared.
I'm Corey.
We're without Scott today, but I think we'll do what we can to manage. So we'll miss you, Scott.
Nice.
Hopefully see you in the future if you don't keep ditching us. Just kidding. He's not ditching us. We love you.
Work.
Work's important, so work's priority one.
Truth.
So today we're going to bring you a barrage of players. We're going to combine different divisions. We're going to do the NFC South, AFC South, and NFC East
Yeah.
to bring the studs, duds, and sleepers to a close.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
Finally.
Finally. We're doing this for y'all as well as ourselves. And we want to move on to the next segment.
We want to bring you better things.
Yes.
More exciting things.
Exactly. So we're going to get right into this and hit up the NFC South.
Ooh. It's a good division.
So I want to run through these studs relatively fast. And my first one's going to be Julio Jones, Atlanta Falcons.
Got them dirty bird.
Obvious stud, right? I mean, last year, 83 catches, 1,400 yards, 6 touchdowns. Touchdowns need to go up, but they talked about using him more in the red zone this season. So, I mean, 6'4", they should probably utilize that size, that speed, and those ups.
Big body.
So, no, that's going to be... I mean, if you're looking in the first round, which is where he's going, you got the 6-7 pick and he's still there, later in the first round, absolutely grab Julio.
Him over AJ, definitely.
Him over AJ. And then you might, if you're late round and you get him, you might be able to get AJ in
Shoot,
so
that'd be dirty.
There you go. Next stud, rookie stud, Christian McCaffrey. I mean, his last year in college, 253 rushes, 1,600 yards, 13 touchdowns. Also was a receiving back. I don't have the stats for his receiving as of right now, so y'all can look it up on your own time. But so I know he had 46 receptions. I think it was 413 yards and like 3 touchdowns out of the backfield as well. So I mean, he's versatile, and that's what Carolina wants to use him for because they have not had a back that's been like that. They don't have someone that can catch out of the backfield. They were last season in receptions from a running back. So. Chris McCaffrey will fill that void that they have and be a bailout for Cam Newton when he's under pressure, which with the offensive line, he will be under pressure. So it's mediocre at best, though.
Yeah.
So
at best mediocre.
At best mediocre.
Yeah.
So next, we're going to move over to New Orleans. We're going to talk about another rookie, or a rookie last year, Michael Thomas. I mean, people don't realize he had 92 receptions, 1,137 yards, and 9 TDs.
Wow.
Quietly studded up. And I traded this guy for Corey. 4. And this is going to be my next stud. So when I transition here, Mike Evans. 96 receptions, 1,321 yards, 12 touchdowns.
I mean, you could say he won it, but it was a double win.
It was, you got Michael Thomas, he showed up, but he was a little more quiet with his show out.
During that time period,
And Mike Evans was, live and balling out, making loud and proud. But both guys are great. Both guys are second round can be bored with Michael Thomas, depending on who's drafting in your league and everything like that, and your league size. We base it on 10-team leagues. And Mike Evans, usually late first rounder, so pick 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there.
Oh yeah.
Well, again, depending on who's drafting.
Dude, if he drops to 9, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, if you're 9, you get him. You get Michael Thomas later. Perfect. Early in the second, that's perfectly fine. Now I'm gonna transition to the duds of this division. Adrian Peterson. Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah. It was pretty funny.
I mean, there's Mark Ingram, and who's the young buck?
That rookie that
number
just
41
went off last game.
He did. I was trying to think about what his name was. Don't have it on my.
I was gonna say Cadet, but that's not who it was.
Not Javarius Cadet.
Yeah, he's.
But
I don't think he's
whoever that rookie is shining some light on himself and making a name for himself. So, but I mean, that's 3 cooks in the kitchen, and Adrian Peterson does not pass catch, where Mark Ingram does. Mark Ingram also knows the offense better. and has been in the system a lot longer. So if there's anybody who's going to take the share of the workload, it's going to be Mark Ingram for now. But the other thing about that is, as much as I put him as a dud, if one of those guys goes down, let's say if Mark Ingram goes down, that share goes
to Adrian Peterson.
So,
and if he can show flashes of greatness again, he'll
he might not be a dud, but as of right now, even though he's going later, he's like round 8, 9.
Yeah. And that's when it's the desperation area.
Exactly. You can pick him up there. I mean, obviously you'll want both Mark Ingram, who's going a little bit earlier in like the 5th and 6th. You get him, that way you're just safe. So,
handcuff him.
You can handcuff him, but for now he's a dud. He has very little standalone value in my mind. So
true.
Next is Jonathan Stewart. He's going way late. He's going, ADP 140, so he's going like late 14, 15, or early 15 round and like undrafted in some leagues. But again, it goes back to Christian McCaffrey, who's going to take over a lot of, I don't want to say the goal line work, but that's where Cam Newton will take over, but they will be swinging passes out to him at the goal line. So, which will take rushing opportunities, which is all Jonathan Stewart has, and those touchdowns, those are all he has. They'll take that away from him. So his opportunities are dwindling now.
Yeah, with Christian McCaffrey's a baller. He's gonna go off.
And Jonathan Stewart only had 1,000 yard season in his whole career anyway.
Yeah.
He's never been even a good. Actually, I think he's not been a good first, second down back. He's been a fine first and second down back, but you're not going to expect him to carry your fantasy team.
And he's better being the second running back, like when DeAngelo Williams was there.
He was. Yep. When they had the tandem, they were a lot better. Exactly.
Ugh.
This one kind of hurt me to say, but just looking at him now, I'm like, I don't want to put him down here, but Tevin Coleman's going to be my next dud.
Ugh.
Now, he did well. He had 520 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns, and 423 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns, so 11 total touchdowns, and about 900, all-purpose yards. But they just signed Devontae Freeman to a, 5-year?
5-year extension, yeah.
Yep, for $40 million, and they expect him to be the red zone guy, which will take away from Tevin's touchdowns.
Like with the stats that I pulled up from last year, for the runs inside the 5-yard line, Devonta Freeman had 19.
Mm-hmm.
Tevin Coleman, 4.
4
runs inside the 5-yard line.
And that's not going to get any higher.
He's bigger than him, too. That's what I don't understand, but...
Well, they originally drafted Tevin Coleman for him to be the lead guy. Then Devonta Freeman showed up because Coleman got hurt, and he took the opportunity and, no pun intended, ran with it. So
yeah.
Maybe
comedy too.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't pun intended there. And so Tevin's going in the 8th round, which is fine if you need a flex player or something like that. In PPR, he will have value too. Again, 423 receiving yards, so he could have value there. But in my mind, I feel like even though they want to split, I think that workload is going to fade back, and they're going to give more to Devontae because he could also be a receiver. Obviously, he's good between the 5 and the end zone, so that's who they're going to trust there. That's who they want. That's who they extended. So.
And you got a better chance getting somebody like Theo Riddick a little later who has the same value but could also have a higher ceiling because there's no solidified all-pro running back.
Right.
So.
Very true.
I mean, Tevin Coleman could be great if he gets the chance, but he won't get the chance, and that's exactly why he is a dud. I know it hurts to put him there, but it's the truth.
He's the one that was borderline for me, but he's there now. So sorry, Tevin. In the future, when you get an opportunity on your own team, we'll put you in the studs.
He'll do good when he's on a different team.
And my last dud, Charles Sims, Tampa Bay. He's been 17 games in his 3-year career.
That's ridiculous.
He's just never out there, and he doesn't even play that much to get hurt. And the times that he does play, he gets hurt. So, why? Why even bother putting him on your bench? He's not even the backup. Jock Kiz is going to be the backup. So, and he's actually proved himself out there when Doug Martin went down. So, I mean, it's just, I don't even need much to say about him. No.
Yeah.
Just don't even bother wasting the draft pick.
Don't worry.
Most people don't waste the draft pick on anyway. So.
But just in case you're thinking of it.
You're thinking that he's going to be the guy backing up Doug Martin. Shut up.
Yeah.
Get out of there. Yeah,
He'll be
Jarvis
hurt
Wise. Jarvis Wise can do all the things that he can do. So
Yeah, he may be smaller, but he's better. Way better.
he is better. And will actually be on the field to play.
Exactly.
So there you go. You want a reliable one, go for Jacquizz. If you're going for trying to pick between Doug and them, if you gotta get Doug Martin, go for Jacquizz as the tandem. So
Yeah,
Jacquizz.
Jacquizz.
Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. It's French, I don't know what it means. But then that's also going to lead me to one of my sleepers, who is Doug Martin. I know he's suspended for 3 games, but again, if you get Jacquizz for those 3 games, and when Doug Martin comes back and starts playing, there you go. They're talking to Rant and Raven about how he's lost weight, looks physically good, is running harder, going back to his 2015 Doug Martin.
Bowling ball.
1,400 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns, like the original muscle hamster, that type of runner. So if he can perform like that, you can get him in round 8 and 9 where he's going. You can get top 15 RB,
Super
late in the game, in the middle of the game.
You gotta wait 3 weeks, but that's that's when you can take your L's.
And then you can pick up the the usually undrafted Jacquizz. So there you go, fill in the void, or you can fill in with just one of your other running backs for the time being.
Like
That's fine.
Darren McFadden.
Yep. You can do it with Darren McFadden. And Rob Kelly's going late. So, fill in with that. Now, my next person, going to the NO, Willie Snead. Man, he had, as a third option on that team last year, after Cooks and after Thomas, he still had 72 receptions, 895 yards, 4 touchdowns. Now, I feel like with Brandon Cooks being gone, that touchdown total has a chance to go up because he is good in the red zone. He knows how to use his body, he knows how to get open, he knows how to position himself. So, if you're looking for a 7th, 8th round receiver, and if you say you went running back, and you need somebody later that could be your wide receiver 2, this guy has an opportunity to be that wide receiver 2. No problem.
Oh, yeah.
So, I know a lot of people are trying to figure out their draft strategies and things like that. Well, if you're going with the RB strategy, you're going to running back, maybe 3 running backs early. If you find like Dalvin Cook or Christian McCaffrey, you have a bunch of receivers coming in the late round that you can get. Willie Snead and a guy like Calvin Benjamin is also going later, who's another one of my sleepers. He's going, since say later, 6th round, 6th, 7th round, but he had 63 receptions, 941 yards, 7 touchdowns. I mean, that's a nice number 2 receiver again, going in the 6th round. So, opportunities there to still fill up your receiving core, even though you didn't get someone between rounds 1 through 4.
Yes.
So, you guys are not out of luck when it comes to that. There's plenty of people down there that you can get later on, so don't panic. If you want to grab all the running backs for your team and stockpile them for trade purposes or just to build your depth, perfectly fine, because your receiving options are super deep. Speaking of super deep receiving options, this guy's not even on the radar, usually going undrafted, and that's Mohamed Sanu. Now, with Julio Jones obviously getting the target share and Taylor Gabriel taking some of those out too, obviously there's a lot to spread around out there in that offense for the Atlanta Falcons, but this guy's going to get his. He still had 59 receptions, 653 yards, and 4 touchdowns. I feel like that can only go up as the offense progresses. I feel like he has more ceiling than that. So, look out for Mohamed Sanu if you need somebody to fill up your bench. Somebody that can offer you good bench points and fill you in on bye weeks. So
definitely a bye week plug-in that could get you a W, man.
Yep.
He's got the potential. He's got a quarterback that can throw.
Yep. Now his second year in the system, so
that's the thing. Once somebody's in their second year, I mean, it's going to be a new offensive coordinator, yes, but that doesn't mean he's got a second year with that quarterback.
Yep. The thing is building rapport.
Exactly.
So, maybe not with the system, excuse me.
But they're all learning in the system, so it's not going to be bad.
That's true.
I mean, if there's struggles, they'll struggle together, but they'll also build together. That's why I honestly think they'll build together.
They will. Yep.
I feel like the trend of the Shanahan leaving thing is actually going to be different this year.
It's going to be different. They looked good in the preseason, so.
Oh, yes.
That concludes the NFC South for the studs, duds, and sleepers. Let's move on.
Ooh. So we're gonna move.
We're gonna stay in the South region.
Yeah, nah.
Or which one you want to go with?
I think, yeah, we'll go. We're gonna go, cause we'll save the best for last. We're gonna go the AFC South for y'all.
All right.
We're gonna start with the studs right here, and the first stud, that man, T.Y. He was a baller last year with subpar quarterbacking. I mean Andrew Luck's great and all that, yeah, but he still managed to get 91 receptions, 1,448 yards, only 6 touchdowns. But
Yep.
I expect the touchdowns to go up.
But his depth of reception was crazy last year.
16 yards.
Yeah, 50.9 to 16 yards.
Kid was balling out, and
Yep.
he's a smaller dude. He's 5'10", only 183 pounds. But he's got so much talent in the receiving game.
He can
His
play
footwork,
so.
his hands.
Oh my goodness.
He's a beast.
He is. He can go underneath routes and make yards after the catch, or you can just send them out deep.
Oh yes.
Doesn't even matter.
Oh, yeah.
He has speed. He has speed
He
as
can
well.
hit you with that friggin' fly route. He's gone and scoop.
And everybody worries about Moncrief, but Moncrief just opens up the field for him. It's the opposite.
And what does Moncrief even do?
He just catches touchdowns when they're available.
That's truth.
That's all he do.
He's a vulture.
Yeah, that's it. So that's where all those touchdowns went. So.
It's a shame. I don't know. But T.Y.'s probably gonna have similar yards, maybe a little less, but I believe the touchdowns will be up there. He's a super dud. He's a dud. No, I'm just
Super
kidding.
stud.
A super stud.
Oh,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, he is a super stud.
Take a look at the love right here.
Hey, get some love.
Hey, the
Let's
next man.
transition. Sorry to take this from you, but I'm not that sorry because I want to say this one. Marcus Mariota.
Hey, that was my QB last year.
Yeah. So he had 3,426 yards
26 touchdowns.
and 26 touchdowns with only 9 INTs. So he's playing well, performing well. I mean, he's, again, progressing in the system. He has receivers he has rapport with. Now add another weapon with Eric Decker out there. So now they've given him weapons to use. Rashard Matthews, Eric Decker, Corey Davis, who's a young
First
stud.
round pick.
So, not to mention DeMarco Murray, who caught passes for days last year.
He shot
Except
in the
out of
run
his
game,
out of the
too.
usual game, but they actually used him in that aspect. So, opportunities are there. Not to mention, can't flip my man, Delaney Walker's still there.
Hey.
So,
He's
man, solid.
so much talent around him.
Exactly.
And he's got legs too.
He
Even though
can.
he broke his leg last year.
That's another thing. He's a
still got
dual
it.
threat. Yep.
Oh yeah.
So
He could run out and they're gonna be like, all right, let's get him. Someone's gonna run up, like the safety or the linebacker covering in the zone.
Mhm.
Gonna run up and try to get him. He's gonna drop a dime like he always does.
yeah, bootlegs are an option for him. I mean, it's just gonna be dangerous. So it has a ability to become a high-powered offense, which means only up from Marcus Mariota. He could be throwing 4,000 yards, 27 and 8 or something like that. So,
Truth.
stud.
He's a stud, man. He's one of the quarterbacks that are getting drafted pretty high up there too.
Mm-hmm.
After like the Tom Brady's and Aaron Rodgers, he's in the top 5 of quarterbacks being drafted.
Awesome.
So that's a stud for that. So I'm going to transition to another one. I'm going to leave the other one for you because I know you love this guy. But another stud for the AFC South is DeAndre Hopkins. He had 78 receptions, 954 yards, 4 touchdowns, but there was 151 targets. And you can tell who was throwing him the ball last year, Brock Osweiler, because he can't hit a wide open receiver.
Can't hit the broad side of the barn, as our country folk would say.
It's ridiculous. And now he's got, Tom Savage is going to be the starter to start, I guess. But I guarantee you Deshaun Watson is going to take over, and he's good. He won a national championship for a reason.
Yeah, true.
He's got all the potential and everything, and DeAndre Hopkins has the ability to do anything. Plus, he's on a contract year. People play great on their contract year.
Dude, he's gonna really want to show out. So even if the
Unless
balls
the
are throwing
microphone-
bad, he's gonna be going for him. He's
Heck yeah, he's
he
like,
can
all
always
right.
sacrifice plays to make sure.
Either they put in Watson and he goes off with DeAndre Hopkins, or DeAndre Hopkins is going to go off with somebody else as the quarterback, and he's going to audition for a different team. That's why I think he's going to be a stud this year, and he's not going early. He's going in the 6th round.
Mm-hmm.
I've been picking him up in a lot of my mock drafts because if he's there, I'm taking him. Especially if I have my running back set, you have your running back set, and you need a receiver, and you can get him in the 6th round, maybe 7th round. Go for it. All day. He's got the potential to be a top 20 receiver easily, and there's a lot of receivers out there, especially compared to running backs.
Yeah, I think he's a bounce back candidate.
Exactly. He's gonna get what they call the comeback player of the year award, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Ooh, I talk about this dude.
Oh
this
yeah.
beast.
You can talk about this
so long as he's
monster.
coming from this ankle injury and everything like that. Leonard Fournette, he's gonna be a stud to me. Now his senior season, or I shouldn't say senior, his freshman season before he went into the draft, he got injured, so he didn't get to play a full season. But the season before, his sophomore season, he played in 12 games. He had 300 rushing attempts, making him a crazy workhorse.
Yeah, he
Right?
can handle it.
Right? For 1,900 yards and 22 touchdowns.
Ugh, 22 touchdowns.
So I know that offensive line for Jacksonville isn't great, but if someone's going to break a tackle or make a lineman miss, it's going to be him. He loves that contact too.
That Adrian Peterson,
Yep, he is. So he runs big, he runs heavy, he runs strong. So, no, I'm excited to see him play once he gets over these injuries that kind of, hold him back. He's going to be wild to watch, and I'm super excited.
Oh, yeah.
So, worth a 2nd round pick more than a 1st round pick, because obviously he's so improving and is going through training camp, missing parts of it, not getting to play in the preseason because of the injury. So, be a little hesitant. Don't get too, trigger happy and throw him in the 1st round. But, if he's coming in the fall in the middle of the 2nd, late in the 2nd, especially in the 3rd, pull the trigger on him.
I'd take McCaffrey over him, to be honest, just because he's not hurt. That's the only thing. True,
and the situation's a little better for McCaffrey
Exactly.
as far as like the offense and things like that. Because obviously with the poor quarterback and everything like that, they're going to be expecting might be stacking the box on year 1.
Yeah.
But with the overall talent,
hey, and they're talking about changing quarterbacks, and
Shanahan will let it sling because he's got nothing to lose.
Exactly.
So.
He hasn't played in 2 years, so he's trying to show people he can play. I mean, he's looked good so far in preseason, but then again, it's preseason.
Yep. True.
Yeah. So let's transition that. I like that about Fournette. I think he'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna go to our duds right now for the AFC South. Now I'm gonna start with who we just talked about, kind of Blake Bortles.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible. I'm so sorry to discredit somebody, but he cannot hit anything.
He won me a fantasy football season in 2015 though.
When he was good, he was really good that year.
Well, he was good. I mean, he still threw a lot of picks, but he also had like 35 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So, probably his best year and his only good year, unless he moves somewhere far away, meditates for a year, then comes back and learns to throw a football,
What I think, though, is like they're changing his mechanics, so I feel like he's not feeling comfortable with it. He keeps underthrowing receivers. Like in the 2nd preseason game, he underthrew Allen Robinson 3 times.
That's true.
It hit the ground like 5 yards before it even got to him.
That's true.
And he was wide open. He had 3,905 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 16 picks. I mean, that's not...
The picks are terrible.
Not horrible, but it's still terrible.
I mean, he's almost 50-50 to those picks and touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's not good.
And those touchdowns are garbage time touchdowns.
It's
like
all garbage time.
Where the defense is like, we're already beating you by 35 points. We might as well let loose a little, let you be loose a little
And they even
bit.
talked about hiding Blake Bortles because of... Now, the person replacing him because he's so bad.
And Chad Henne's getting the third preseason
Coming back.
start.
Getting a second breath.
Man, what if he just...
He just tears it up.
That's going to cause some danger.
Hey, he's got to go out with the bang as well,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to do one of these bad boys right here? Or you
Nah,
wanna...
I'm just kidding. I would definitely take him.
No,
Now,
I'm just
you
kidding.
don't want Angela? You want to take Angela?
No, I'm saying not
I'm just
that
kidding.
one.
Oh, Lamar Miller.
Ooh.
I got it because I drafted him last year. He let me down, And
The yards are there, but...
I got like a breather because I hyped him up,
you
and
did.
then I got burned. So I gotta take a moment of silence here for my head.
He was so good with Miami.
He was. He had an excellent. He had like a 3 TD game against Houston that one game, and it was awesome. Just torched them. But last year, given the workload, he had 263 rushing attempts, and did barely anything with him. He only had a little over 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns. I mean, why? And I drafted him in the second round.
Yeah. That's like
I
a
buy into the
round.
hype. I buy into the hype, and I won't do it again. So he's a dud for me. Not to mention, was it Deontay Foreman? Deontay Foreman, looking good in the preseason,
Oh, yes.
so has a chance to take over some of that workload. I mean, he looked explosive.
Young, fresh legs.
If they start moving him towards the first, and give him the first team reps, start knocking Lamar Miller down in your draft position. So,
Yep.
nope, ignore that fool.
Definitely.
Done to me.
He's
I want
good.
another one. I want another one. Give me
Get
another
it,
one.
get it, baby.
Andrew Luck. I gotta talk about him because everybody else is gonna get hate. So, but Andrew Luck is coming back from the shoulder injury. So they talk about him not playing right away in the regular season. They say he should be able to make it back, but then again, he's still gonna be rusty. He's gonna be out of the preseason, so hasn't got a chance to really throw. They're gonna limit his throws right away earlier in the season till they feel comfortable that he's able to throw 40 times a game. So, I mean, you're going to be losing out on that. Not to mention, with Luck, his offensive line is so poor that he has a chance for not only re-injury, but no time to really make it accurate throws. He's
Yeah.
throwing under pressure a lot. So, which could possibly put him up for interceptions because of all the pressure that can become, or fumbles and situations like that, turnovers in general. So if the offensive line, if they can make it better, or put like 6 Frank Gores out there to block and put up blitz protection, like it's not going to be a good situation to come back to for Andrew Luck.
Mm-mm.
So
Yeah.
despite being a very good quarterback and just a always every year bad offensive line situation.
This year's different with the rustiness. They won't let him throw his hardest right
Except
now.
for Joe Hag, your superstar.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Pulling it down.
Minnesota.
Yep. So,
Only one good player on that whole line. You can't save it. Yeah. Then we got his counterpart, the next dud, the last dud. Sorry, in Tennessee we couldn't find a true dud, so we had to give Indy 2 duds because Dante Moncrief.
yep.
He's always had people look up to him as a talent. I mean, yeah, he's got talent, but he doesn't produce the numbers. Like it's like his biggest season was like 600 yards. Last year he had 30 receptions, 307 yards. He had 7 touchdowns in 9 games, but they're saying he's still hurt. His shoulder's still hurt.
Yep.
He's a receiver, man. You need your shoulder.
Yep.
Just as a quarterback needs their shoulder.
He's just not a high reception guy. So I mean, his highest
Exactly.
was like the 60-some receptions. 67 was his
Yeah.
highest. So he's not a high like volume receiver as far as the targets go.
And T.Y.'s gonna take it all.
Mm-hmm. T.Y.'s will take a huge part of that target share.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And so will a man named Jack
Doyle, who is a sleeper.
Sleeper. And he just didn't take over there now. I mean, Allen's gone, so I mean, Dwayne Allen's gone. Dwayne Allen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad
So-
because he was stealing all the freaking.
Was just wasting targets. So
Yeah, I'm like,
Doyle-
come on, get
that's
Doyle
more.
the ball.
That's more for guys like T.Y. It's still more for Dante too, and more for Jack Doyle, who he actually has trust and rapport with. He's having a good training camp and off season, so he's been in the system a while. It's a good opportunity for him to finally step up, probably play as tight end 2 for your team. So
Oh yeah, definitely could be. He's got the talent and everything. 59 receptions, 584, and 5 touchdowns. And that'll only
low end tight end 2 numbers.
yeah. But that'll go up though
That will,
because they
again.
don't have because Allen was stealing a lot of his targets
Correct.
and he got a few touchdowns away from him when it should have been him in there getting the touchdowns. Doyle has the talent. And
Doyle
he's got
has
the
a
size.
better talent than I can't think he's a better talent than Dwayne because Dwayne's always hurt. But
Yeah.
better than when Kobe Senior was there. So.
Oh, truth. Oh gosh, but enough of Doyle because
Yep.
we think that y'all probably will know this. Hopefully, especially with how I've seen him getting drafted. It's been like the 10th tight end not 10th, sorry, like 7th tight end taken. Before him, Zach Ertz, Eifert,
Mm.
Kelsey obviously, Gronk, Kyle Rudolph. But Jack Doyle has a ceiling that is pretty high.
Yep.
But I'm transitioned over to that man, Rashard Matthews.
Yeah.
Tennessee Titans. I had him on my team, PPR. He didn't have that many receptions, but I still believe he has a high ceiling with 65 receptions, 945 yards, and 9 touchdowns. That's phenomenal, especially now that they got so many more weapons. Like, if they get Decker double teamed somehow, like if Decker's doing pretty good, which I guess he's building up a good rapport with Marcus,
Mm-hmm.
I believe that Rashard Matthews is going to have a similar year, if not better, this year, no matter what. At worst, I think he's going to have the same numbers. At best, I believe he'll have at least 1,100 yards and probably 10 touchdowns.
10 touchdowns.
10 touchdowns, because I think Marcus Mariota is going to have himself a year.
I think so.
I know he got hurt last year, but that doesn't take away from his accuracy, his decision making, and he's pretty confident right now. He's toughened through the obvious aches and pains of a broken bone. Like after I broke my ankle, and to this day it still has aches, but just push through it, and it doesn't stop you. It's all about your mental strength, and I believe with the strong mental state of Marcus Mariota, Rashard Matthews is going to go out there and get himself some love.
Exactly. You know who's also going to get some love and take some love away from another player? Deontay Foreman is going to take some love away from Lamar Miller. As we talked about earlier, he's looking good in this preseason.
Oh, yeah.
Lamar Miller is
subpar.
Subpar is solid.
He's like a double bogey in golf.
I mean, no, I'm hoping that this pushes Lamar to step up, and I'm hoping the offense in general steps up with hopefully Watson taking over and things like that. If Hopkins can pick up, open up opportunities for Lamar Miller. But in case it doesn't go that way and it goes south, watch out for Deontay Foreman to take over.
Oh,
So,
his last year
simply
of college. Whew! 2,028 yards and 15 touchdowns. I mean, and he played at Texas, so it's not the easiest. It's not like a third.
Stayed in the state, though.
Yeah, he did. That's pretty crazy. I like that. That's going to do good for him then. He's going to have the confidence close to home.
Yeah.
Hey, man, that's like when anytime you're near family and loved ones, you just do better.
Yep.
You do better at every aspect of life.
Yep. So he's looking to perform. So again, Deontay Foreman going undrafted. So why not scoop him up if you got Lamar Miller on your team?
Truth, because he definitely will be stealing the carries from Lamar.
Oh yeah.
And then we got somebody else on this list, even though his quarterback is terrible, but now he's going to have a different quarterback in there. You got Marquise Lee. 63 receptions, 851, and 3 touchdowns. And that's only going to get better, especially...
That's not a bad year from Bortles.
And the news that's came out today with them trying to trade Allen Hurns.
Moving up to number 2.
That's going to give him more targets, more love. Especially Chad Henne can hit more targets than Blake Bortles. I mean, and he's not good.
No legend,
but he's got, I don't know, he's got a chance.
He's got nothing to lose.
Exactly.
He has nothing to lose.
That's what makes you dangerous.
Exactly. He's going to be slinging out. He's going to come back and be like Jay Cutler, just going to sling.
Yep, throw.
Yep.
Alright, I believe that's the end of that one.
Lose the studs sleeper for the AFC South. There we go.
Alright, we're going to transition to our last division, final division. I wish I could say save the best for last, but...
You did say it, but you didn't really mean it.
Yeah, I didn't mean it. That's what I should say. I wish I could mean saying this, but it's the NFC East. So we got our studs. I'm going to start with Des Bryant. In 13 games played, 796 yards, 50 receptions, 8 touchdowns. I think it's only going to get better. And his chemistry with Dak has grown. They've even said.
And the preseason's even looked good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And he's going pretty high now in the draft. His ADP keeps rising every day.
And he's healthy.
Exactly.
Foot problem.
When he's healthy, he's a number 1 all day. He can catch anything.
He's going in the second round.
Yeah.
Later in the second round.
And he's starting to move up. Like every time do mock drafts, and we do like 5 a day.
We're antsy.
Yeah. We got like 5 days until draft. Or 3 days actually. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. For the first one.
Oh,
you got leagues for days though.
I know, 3 leagues maybe. I wish we could do like 10. I think we could handle it. But Yeah, need I say more with his potential? Y'all know his ceiling. Don't sleep on him. He is a stud for sure.
Ceiling's easily in the top 10.
Oh,
so.
goodness, yes. And I'm sorry to move so fast on this, y'all, but
Keep it rolling.
this next guy, oh my gosh, he might go down as the greatest ever. But Odell Beckham, I know he's a diva. He's a huge diva. But this man has had 1,300 yards receiving in every single year he's played.
Mm-hmm.
10-plus touchdowns every single year he's played.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, let me also say this. 90 receptions every single year he's played.
At a minimum.
Minimum. 101 receptions last year, 1,367 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Phenomenal.
Easy top 3 wide receiver, excuse me. Easy top 3 wide receiver.
Right? Dude, and okay, so he might miss a week or two, but that's a might. They said that's the worst case scenario.
Mm-hmm. Which means you might be able to get him cheap.
Exactly. Some
it
people
might not be the
sleep on
first.
that.
Yeah.
Wait till like the 9th or 10th pick, or the second pick in the first or second pick in the second round.
Yep.
Pick him up. Don't sit there and be like, oh, 1 or 2 weeks, because you can easily find a receiver
Talked about guys, Calvin Benjamin, Rashard Matthews. You got
Literally.
fill-ins for those weeks.
who can fill you in for those weeks easily. I don't think I have to say much more on Odell.
Nope.
I really
Stud.
don't.
Move
Super
on.
stud. The next is a newly acquired receiver for the Washington Redskins, and that is that man Terrell Pryor.
Terrell Pryor.
77 receptions, 1,007 yards, 4 touchdowns in his first year of like a full season of receiving with the worst quarterback play you could think of. Now he's got Kirk Cousins, who's a proven quarterback. And he's going to sling him the ball. He's going to get him the ball. He's already peppered him. He's going to keep peppering him. And in training camp, you saw that catch too. Scoop! He's like, oh, Odell, what up?
Right? Everybody's trying to make that statement now.
He's drafted in the late second, early third round. And I think that he kind of could be probably drafted earlier than that. Especially if all the wide receivers are, like, that big talents are going off the board and you have a running back, I'd definitely choose a Terrell Pryor.
Mm-hmm.
He's phenomenal. He's got a high ceiling and things could be great with him. I don't know. I just don't see why people would sleep on him, but they probably...
No, and they love him out there. They love him out in Washington. So him, and along with Jamison Crowder,
Oh, yeah.
Crowder.
And Terrell Pryor's going to get those red zone targets, I believe, because he's bigger. He's got better hands than everyone on that team, I believe. For an ex-quarterback, man,
The transition is one of the best.
ridiculous. Just like Edelman.
Yep.
I'm going to transition to Phillies NFC East. Phillies stud.
You know, see the least.
We got Alshon Jeffrey. I could have flipped my stud and sleeper, but I believe since like the draft position,
In those healthy years for Alshon Jeffrey, when he played with Jay Cutler in the healthy years, he had, 200 or 2,550 some yards and
2
like
years.
27 touchdowns.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah.
12 games last year, 821 yards, only 2 touchdowns, but that was with wishy-washy quarterback play. Terrible quarterback play. They were like the San Francisco 49ers. Now he's got Carson Wentz, who's like not the greatest, but he's not terrible like them. He's
Right.
young, potential, got a good arm, great decision making. Yeah. I think he's gonna have
They
himself a
loaded
year.
up Wentz with weapons,
Yeah, they got rid of Jordan
and
Matthews.
he looked good. Wentz
did.
looked good. So there's an opportunity definitely for Alshon to be a top 20 for sure wide receiver, staying healthy, barring no injuries. So
Truth. I mean, okay, so the last thing on him I'm gonna say is he had a bad route in the last game, but when it's your first team, this is when you want to make the mistake,
exactly,
because you can watch the film and see what you did wrong,
exactly.
and it doesn't count towards your stats. That's all you gotta think of. And he's gonna go off, I believe it. But I'm gonna transition to these duds. This one is gonna be a surprise to most. Ezekiel Elliott. It's because he's suspended for 6 games.
And a bye week 7.
Yeah, so basically he's out 7 weeks. And then That's with no football. Like, I mean, he could do football outside of that. He can't practice with his team. He can't do any of that. And
We all know he's an all-world talent.
oh, he's phenomenal,
But that doesn't mean you're game set ready as far as conditioning goes.
especially where he's going in the late second round. Why would you spend that pick on him to lose 7 weeks of
And unless you're going to get McFadden, replace that, or Alfred Morris, you're kind of wasting your spot right there, you know?
definitely wasting it? Because there's so much more talent at that level.
Mhm.
Like, just say, oh, okay, I'll just get a receiver. Because there's gonna be receivers out there like Terrell
Mhm.
Pryor, or Alshon Jeffrey, or Kelvin Benjamin,
Yep.
or Sammy Watkins, who's looked good.
Now, I feel, though, if he does fall into the fourth for some
Oh, yeah.
crazy miraculous reason, which probably won't happen,
Scoop him.
exactly.
That's when it's the dead zone where you're like,
exactly.
I'm kind of
Fifth round dead zone.
forcing this pick.
Exactly.
That's when you're gonna be like, okay, all right, I got myself a steal. Then that would make him a non-dud, but he's a dud because his ADP, y'all. And that 7 weeks without playing, he's gonna not be. What if he gets hit one time or like a few times and he just gets dinged up and he's not the same for the rest of the year?
Yep.
Soft tissue injury somehow,
Yep.
especially when you're not playing. That happens.
Exactly.
Sorry Zeke, I think you're great, but.
Next dude.
Next dud is that man Paul Perkins for the New York Giants, the starting running
Plotter.
back.
The plotter.
Ugh. He cannot get 1 yard to save his life. And it's not, I mean, he just looks confused out there. Like, he doesn't know what hole to hit.
Yep.
His O-line is
Latavius Murray.
terrible. Thank God we got Dalvin Cook, though. But, just Paul Perkins is not going to do good. He's going to do terrible, and their backup isn't the greatest either. Darkwa, like, he's not terrible like Perkins, but they're still giving Perkins the love.
Mhm.
Need I see more? Don't draft him. So I'm going to switch
Yep.
to Washington stud and Rob Kelly. He may be the
We keep
star-
going up and down.
I
with
know.
Rob Kelly. We can't now make a decision. He's gonna be good. He's a starter. He's looking bad in the preseason.
just looks
Samaje's looking
terrible.
good bad. No, Samaje's looking okay. And like,
And that's why I'm just cutting. I'm drawing the hammer. I'm dropping the hammer. I'm doing the judgment and saying he's a dud. And no matter what I say for the rest of this year, I'm sticking to Rob Kelly as a dud. I started saying he was going to be
you
a
did. You
sleeper.
made a bet.
I almost did. We didn't make it. I said I'm not trying to lose a bet. I remember that. I'm not Scott. But he may be the starter, but he looks so below average.
They say he's not a good runner. He's not a pretty runner.
He's going to be a touchdown vulture possibly, but you can't. It's like drafting Matt Asiata.
They're gonna pass in that offense.
Exactly. You got Kirk Cousins and then throwing it to Terrell Pryor. And if they get to the zone, to the red zone, I don't think that they're going to run it too many times. They'll probably run it once or twice. And he can't get 5 yards to save his life in the red zone. Yeah, that's...
Moving on.
And moving on. And we're having a trend here with our duds because it's another running back. And that's LeGarrette Blount. I know he had a good year last year with the Patriots, but that's because it's the Patriots.
Yep, different offense.
And he was a
Situation.
touchdown machine, but he averaged 3.8 yards per carry.
Mm-hmm.
That is not good. It's the Pats offense. He's gonna do something there, but now he's with the Eagles.
Not quite the same high-powered
Yeah.
offense yet. So.
Not the same quarterback.
Not the same quarterback. Either.
And it's nothing against Wentz, but Tom Brady's one of the goats.
Well, he's been there long enough to prove his legacy, and
Yeah.
Carson Wentz has not.
Exactly. So I wouldn't trust the LeGarrette Blount train, especially since he's not a pass catcher and they still have Sproles. It's a different ballgame with him with a different team. He might do decent, but he's not worth what the other talents there are. When you could get the Tevin Coleman's later, even though he's going to be a dud probably. But I feel like
better value.
he'd be a better dud. And you can get Amir Abdullah, who's going to be the starter. Theo Riddick, who can be, he's a good PPR back, but I just don't have trust in Blunt with this team.
Moving on.
So we're going to hit our sleepers right now.
Perfect.
To make sure y'all ain't asleep during this. I'm going to go that man, Dak Prescott.
Dak.
Dak! And yeah, some people are probably like, what? sleeper. He's a stud. Heck yeah, he's a stud.
But he's a sleeper for where his values
Yeah, 10th round at the earliest. What? You're taking like...
Andrew Luck was going before him.
Yeah! I was sitting there like, what is this, dude? He had 3,667 yards, 23 touchdowns, and only 4 picks. He had 282 rushing yards also. And with Zeke being out for the first 6 weeks,
They need all of them.
he's going to be throwing it.
And you need every bit of him.
Especially with a healthy Dez. He's going to go off. And some people think that there's going to be the sophomore slump. But so far, he's looked pretty phenomenal. He looks poised for greatness this year.
The plot and scheme, but that run offensive line is still protecting him and giving him time to throw.
Oh, yeah.
So.
And Darren McFadden back there, he's a bigger guy, so he's going to do some good
And
pass
he's proven
blocking.
before that he can also play well. So they still have to keep the run game honest,
Oh, yeah.
with those defensive schemes. So
Oh, he's gonna show people that he wasn't a fluke last year. I believe it. As much as I hate to say it, because
nobody's cheering for the Cowboys overall, but we are cheering for Dak individually.
oh yeah, I like him as a person.
Yep.
He's a good person.
He came out there and did what he was supposed to do.
Mhm.
So, and then some.
Oh yeah. So let's move to another sleeper, and that is for the New York Giants, the 2-time Super Bowl champion Eli Manning.
Bounce back player.
Last year took an L, but this year he bounced back. There's no run game, so you think that that's going to be like, oh no, that's going to make it worse. No, he's going to be dropping passes forever. He's got Brandon Marshall, Sterling Shepard,
And Odell.
Odell.
Not to mention the tight end.
Oh man,
And, yep,
that's going to be dirty.
the young
It's-
buck.
So much potential. Like he's got. Oh my gosh, Brandon Marshall gets slept on so hard too. I was gonna choose him as my sleeper, but Eli kind of like for
And they
his.
say the use of Shane Vereen's going to be going
He
up
doesn't
now.
even go. He doesn't even go drafted. Eli does not get drafted. You got Andrew Luck going before him. You got like Carson Wentz. I saw it picked before him. I was like, what? I mean, Wentz will probably be good this year. But Eli Manning is a proven, like, he doesn't have the greatest numbers, but he's never had multiple good receivers. And now he's got 2 Hall of Fame receivers.
And a good pass catching running back, which they say they're going to use more
Shane
because
Vereen.
the other running backs
They can't do it.
second down pass aren't doing much. Orleans Darkwa and Paul Perkins. So
And they're not going to notice that. They're going to be like, oh, okay, like, they'll notice, teams will, but they won't play Vereen as hard as they will OBJ and Brandon Marshall. I got a trend. I'm a trendy person, I guess.
let's go.
We go into another quarterback. Washington Redskins sleeper, Kirk Cousins. 67% completion percentage last year. 4,917 yards passing. That ain't no fluke right there. 25 touchdowns, 12 picks. He had 4 rush touchdowns, bro.
He did.
And the year before that, he had 5 rush
And
touchdowns.
some of them are actually drawn up for him.
Yeah, he's pretty athletic. You like that? But he's drafted in the very late 8th round, early 9 in 10 team leagues.
Yeah, for contracts, boys.
Exactly. He's good. He's on another. Why they keep franchise tagging him? Like, give that man money. I mean, he gets spanked for it.
He
But
wants to stay there, but he'll leave if he has to.
he did want to go to the 49ers. That would have been pretty decent to have him there with
Usually-
Carlos Hyde and Pierre Garçon there now.
Who he played ball with, so.
Oof. But Kirk Cousins, y'all. If you've drafted everything except your quarterback and you get to like the 8th or 9th round, pick him.
Absolutely.
Definitely a sleeper with the 4,917 yards. That's Drew Brees type stuff.
Oh. If he gets touchdowns up, that's exactly what Drew Brees
Oh, with Terrell Pryor there, I believe those touchdowns will go up by at least 5. I'm going to transition to the last and final sleeper. And that is a guy who I think is going to be top 4 tight end wise. Zach Ertz. Ertz. It hurts. He was the 3rd best tight end in receiving yards. He had 78 receptions, 816 yards, and 4 touchdowns. But with Jordan Matthews leaving, it is rumored
You gotta find someone in the center of the field.
that he's going to be used a lot more as a receiver. He's going to get more receiving yards and more targets, and I believe that too because Carson Wentz is going to pepper him, just like he's going to pepper Alshon. or Nelson Aguilar, or Torrey Smith, yeah, but Zach Ertz is going to be in that red zone and be getting those touchdowns. Expect way more than 4 touchdowns.
Yes.
Especially if you're in a PPR league, 78 receptions for a tight end, that's pretty good.
It is very good.
That's very good. There's so
I
much
think Greg
potential.
Olsen only had 83, so.
Exactly. And Greg Olsen had a phenomenal year.
Exactly.
And Travis Kelce had a lot of receptions, but that's good. That's Travis Kelce.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
he's a stud among studs.
Redonkulous. But that concludes it for the studs, duds, and
That's
sleepers.
it for all the studs and sleepers. Thanks for rocking with
Oh,
us.
gosh.
I know it got long for us too.
It's
but
finally over.
It is. We're moving on to the next segment, so we'll
We'll have something nice for
for
y'all.
something different. So
Something to help y'all know strategies
Yep.
in a draft.
exactly, we'll get on to more draft strategy now. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for being a part of the growth process for our podcast. And again, anything you guys can do to help us, we'd love to hear it.
Oh, yes. We hope y'all have a beautiful one. Hope you enjoy everything we talk about. And if you think that there's anything that needs definite improvement,
Let
don't
us
feel
know.
afraid to say it. We're grown-ups here. We
Exactly.
can handle it.
So y'all have a good morning, evening, or night, wherever you're at. We out.